Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. God finds us in our brokenness and brings us to life and salvation. If Lent is about anything, it's about that. So this week we are exploring that theme of brokenness and how it plays out in the Bible. It's probably not a part of the Bible you've paid a whole lot of attention to. Back in the books of Exodus and 1st and 2nd Kings, there are long chapters describing in immense detail the plans for constructing the temple in Jerusalem. There are instructions how to make it, and the size to make it, what to make it of, and who to make it. It's pretty dry reading. But one of the more interesting things in all this are the horns on the altar. If you've never heard of them, the Israelites were commanded to build their altar with a horn on each corner. If someone were fleeing as a fugitive, they could make their way to the altar, and as long as they were clinging to one of those horns, they were safe from their enemy. They were in a place of sanctuary. Remember Quasimodo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame deliriously yelling, "Sanctuary, sanctuary!" Indeed, that's why the church building is called a sanctuary. This place is intended to be a refuge from the world. All the struggles and difficulties and efforts of the world are left behind. It is a place of safety and security. It's a place of prayer, a place to be with God. Maybe you've never thought about it, but the Garden of Gethsemane was that kind of place for Jesus. The scriptures tell us that after the Last Supper, Jesus and his disciples went out to the Garden of Gethsemane over on the Mount of Olives. There they would have found this garden of olive trees. It was a cool, quiet place, away from the hustle and bustle of Jerusalem, so crowded at the time of the Passover. For all of them, it was a refuge, a sanctuary. For Jesus especially. He knew what was coming, what he would do, how he would die, and there, so close to all these events, he needed a place of sanctuary, a place to pray, a place to be with God, a place to draw strength and comfort and peace. And so they went there, and Jesus prayed. But then suddenly the sanctuary was broken. Suddenly there was Judas with a cohort of soldiers. And suddenly everything was disturbed and chaotic, and the only one with any peace was Jesus himself, who had the peace of doing God's will. The disciples who had abandoned him in sleep now abandoned him by running away. And the tranquil stillness of that garden sanctuary was broken forever. We know what that's like in our lives too. So often bad things break in on us. God seems far away, and all we know is chaos and brokenness. We have no peace. Strength seems hard to find, and it can be difficult even to pray. All our efforts produce no sanctuary at all. But you see, that's just it. Our efforts can never produce sanctuary. Only God can do that. And if you read the scriptures very carefully, you can't escape the reality that while all these things are happening to Jesus, it is Jesus who seems in control. And that's good news for us. For in the chaos and disturbance of our lives, we know that God is in control. We are safe and secure in God's hands, and in God's love, nothing can reach us. We can have peace. In God, we can have sanctuary. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. Come home. be wrapped in the love and sanctuary of God. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.